This is the welcome and orientation video. When you get into the course, this is where you will land initially, and that's in the course home area. The first thing I'd like you to do is go to the course content page, and there you'll see the table of contents, which is along the left edge. And I'd like to first of all focus on the begin here area. This is where you'll find your general course instructions, which will go through a very rough guide as to exactly what you're expecting to see within the course and how to proceed with the course. So we're starting here and watching the welcome and orientation video. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and read the syllabus, and the syllabus is over here in the table of contents, and you can see the link is at the top there. This gives you the nuts and bolts of what you'll be required to do. It will also give you important information about lab notebook requirements and setting out of calculations as well. There is testing, grading as well. And there's also an example of a lab book here as well that you can look at on the way to set out a lab book. Also, on the table of contents, you'll find the experiment schedule right underneath that. And you can see that it's organized by day. If you are in a scheduled Wednesday class, then this represents your Wednesday schedule. For example, this is summer to 2020. It's going to be different for each of you as you proceed through each different semester. After you've done that, and you've been through the syllabus, you've been through the experiment schedule and looked at that, what you'll need to do is go down to the first lab folder, which is the safety folder, and in there you'll see the pre-lab and the safety quiz and the syllabus quiz, and you should do those as well. The next thing you want to do is be able to figure out, well, how do we know what's due? If you can go to the course homepage here at the top, and you can see there's an area called upcoming events. So every calendar event actually has a link to it, and you can see that calendar event in upcoming events. So what we're talking about here are pre-labs, post-labs, results, all of that. Everything will be set out for you here in the upcoming events. So if you want to know if something is due, just go to the course homepage and then look at upcoming events, and then you can get an idea of what you need to be doing at a given time. Alright, let's talk about what you'll need to do for each lab. So let's, I'm just going to choose one here. I'll choose percent composition of a hydrated salt. And what you'll see here are the video, pre-lab, results, and post-lab. And you may even see some videos to help you with calculations as well. There'll also be a drop box here, and that drop box will be for the lab book. So what you'll see here is the lab manual as well. Now the lab manual you'll find here on the table of contents, and you can either download this or you can just view the pages online through this link. And it's recommended you read the lab. I would recommend having it printed out, or you can buy a copy from the bookstore. But I would read the lab first. After I've done that, we'll go back to the lab I was looking at here. We'll have the video, which you should look at as well, and then you can do the pre-lab. So the video is optional for doing the pre-lab, but you can definitely get everything you need out of the lab manual. After you've done the pre-lab, that pre-lab will be due 11:59 p.m. on the night before the lab is scheduled, and then the following day you can either attend the lab depending on what your instructor wants, or you can make sure that you get everything you need done for that lab, including watching the video, before you do the results quiz here. Now the results quiz is going to use data that you'll find down here, student data for labs. So if you click on that link, which is in that folder, you'll see all the data that you'll need for the lab. You just scroll down, you'll find it. Okay, so going back to that lab folder, you'll be able to then work out what you need to do for your lab book, and your lab book will need to be uploaded to a Dropbox, and the instructions for doing that will be in the actual Dropbox itself. So what you'll do is you will make sure you fill in the data in your lab book, and then you'll do the results quiz here, and then you'll also do the post-lab quiz. The results and the post-lab are going to be due 6 days after the last day of the lab. So if it's a 1-day lab, 6 days after that. If it's a 2-day lab, 6 days after the second day for that lab is when you'll have to have those handed in by, and that's going to be 11:59 p.m. on that evening. So after your lab has been graded, you can check your feedback by using this link here, reviewing a graded quiz. There's a video there that explains how to do it. But in a nutshell, it means you go to the submission review section, click on quizzes, and then click on the little down arrow, click on submissions. I don't have any here, but what you'll be able to do is there'll be attempts here. You'll be able to look at the attempt by clicking on it once you see it come up. The other thing you can do is check on your grades, and you can go to the grades area to do this. And if you want to get your actual grade, you can see it'll be here. And also we've got the letter grades. They're down at the bottom here, so you'll be able to look at your present points and see where you stack up. Make sure your grade is what you want it to be after completing each lab. So if you have just completed, say, the percent composition of a hydrated salt, then look at that and see what your grade is. So that's it. So that's everything you'll need to do. If you have any other questions, you can talk to your instructor.